Good day. This is Tata ceiba doing another live. Um, can you guys hear me? All yous that are logged on, just give me confirmation. Just say hi. You can hear me because I know I've been having issues with StreamYard. Can you guys hear me? Okay, Ramel, thank you. Kamika, thank you. Let's just wait for more people to log on. Um, Today I'll be talking about a couple things, but for the most part, I want you guys to. It's gonna be an open topic, ask your questions. Just keep in mind to be respectful, respect others. I'm trying to have a good conversation here. I want a good turnout. Thank you, Jovan. Thank you, Jesus. Wow, how you doing? Thank you, foreigner. Because I enjoy when you guys have a dialogue going. I just don't want no negativity because that defeats the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do here. It's just wait for a couple more to log on. Ramel, well, hopefully today it won't go too long because I did not bring my coffee with me, unless my beautiful Yaya can bring me some coffee. But she heard me. Um, Ramel, well, I guess you are in luck, right? So here's your opportunity, everybody that's with us tonight to ask questions. Like I said, be respectful to one another. This is not that type of party. Matthew, salam alaikum. Alaikum salam, spellbound by night. First and foremost, let me just say that I do not claim to have the absolute truth. I would never claim to have the absolute truth. All right, so let's get going. Let the other people that are gonna come in. Rico, Alaikum salam. I know you guys are there. Thanks for joining. Let's talk about something that really isn't talked about. It's called La Teja, or the actual word, Dilanga, which is a banner made from cloth, and it has certain markings. Now, this usually goes hanging behind the nganga, and this is put there for several reasons. One is to prevent treason. The main thing is for protection. And what's funny about this is there's a power behind that. There's an Mfumbe in charge of protecting the Dilanga. That's its sole purpose. And this Mfumbe also has a specific name. Its name is Bombo Lombo. Bombo Lombo is the name of this Mfumbe. Now, let's just say you're dealing with a situation that somebody's doing work on you, but you can't pinpoint the identity of the person, because if you're good at this trade, you're able to disguise your tracks. So what you do is you bring that Dilanga out from the back of the Nganga, and you place it in the front, and you start working with this Enfumbe, Bombolombo, and I guarantee you that this Enfumbe knows exactly who is doing things to you. And with the Nganga and this, because there's something else in Nganga that you must retrieve, um, your problems are over. That juju will go back so fast, it'll hit that person on their lap like a nuclear bomb. And then usually when you are in a spiritual war, you must keep the Dilanga in front of the Nganga at all times until this war is over. um, Come on, still waiting for people to get in here. The way things are going is going to be a short live. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Like I said, as you guys are here, ask your questions, start your own little dialogue, which I like that. When everything goes smoothly, everybody's being respectful and they're talking back and forth with one another. I really appreciate that. Well, Rico, you can tell when the spiritual war is over. Well, first, the energy around you will dissipate back to normal because when there is a war, there's a higher temperature constantly around you. Um, the Nganga is not giving out fluctuating energies. It'll be back to normal. And of course, one of you is gonna be hurt. Well, Jovan, some of the cantos, the mumbles, I can't really like put it out there because there's certain cantos that you have to be initiate because there's a purpose behind those cantos when you are invoking certain spirits that must come and attend that ceremony. They must be part of that ceremony. Spellbound, the Chichiriku, what is exactly that you need to know about it? Verónica, ¿qué son las dudas tuyas? Well, Matthew, non-initiates can actually just, like I said, every time you're gonna deal with it with a Bisimbi, be respectful, take their offerings, and do your petition, and respectfully, just thank them and everything. You when it comes to non-initiates, like I do not recommend that they try to harness the energies of the impungos. There's a reason why you get initiated, but the basimbis are a different type of spirits, so you're able to work with them, but do not think that they are a cauldron, and do not think that they are your personal slave. It does not work that way. You're looking for a large sabiku. There's, I think it's called Viejo San Lázaro Botanica in Miami, and I know he specializes in those types of wood. Ramel, no, it's not too late to receive your Lucero. The kini kini, um, that is an Nkisi. There's like 4 or 5 different types of them. Um, Usually it has to be a wooden dowel. Unlike a chichiriku where you can substitute the wood for cloth, but that's different. But usually, let me see. Let me. I'll show you an example. That's an example of one type of kini kini that gets consecrated with all the wonderful ingredients that it requires. That goes through a consecration, just like a cauldron will do, will go through. But there's a lot of medicine that goes in these types of vessels. So you can work with them. Of course, let me just rewind. You have to be initiated because that gets consecrated. That has an Nkisi spirit in it. So, of course, I keep on saying it, broken record. Anybody that is not initiated should not be messing around with any spirit. Let's see. When the power spirits do hard work. Um, Depends on the types of work the impungos are working on. Depends on the level. If it's something like really, really, really up there that they're working on, or they already resolved it, 4-legged animal is best. Now, like I said, it has to be a very, very big situation that they took care of. Like I said, the kini kini Dao, you must be initiated. So you work with that kini kini just like you would like a Lucero cauldron. But with a kini kini, you will actually manipulate everything with your Lucero or your Nganga, whatever you choose to, in order to guide that kini kini a whole lot better. Because the energy of those cauldrons would re-energize, fortify the energy of this certain spirit that you're working with. But unlike a Lucero, to say that for the sake of argument, it's recommended that you only do one spiritual work at a time with a kini kini Dao. Now Lucero has a lot more different secrets in there, so he's able to do more than one work at a time. You're welcome, Spellbound. Ramel, yes, you can. You can light a candle to the Nganga. Um, so I talked about the Dilanga. Now, let me ask. I know there's some of you. Jaja, it's okay. Um, I know there's a lot of you that have some knowledge. So I'll ask this question and I'll wait to see if people get the right answer. Why is it that we always have to put our backs facing the Nganga when sending out works with Patipembas? That's the question. Why is it that we always have to put our backs facing the Nganga when sending out works with Tati Pembas? Let's see if any of you get this question right. Oh, I know it is a great question, Ramel. I just want some decent answers. Come on. No. H die, no. So far, but no. Jovan, no. As we're talking here, get some questions in there. All right. It seems like nobody has the answers. Now, the reason that we must always put our backs to the Nganga is because there is an accessory and fumbe that guards and protects our backs. So to show our respect to this Mfumbe, we also place our backs facing the Nganga. And not to mention, we don't want the blunt energy of that Fura hitting this entity because you could really mess up their energy, and you don't need that. This is an Mfumbe whose job is there. That's why, like in Santeria, anybody that touches somebody down their spine like that is creating bad luck for them because there's an entity that resides in that spinal cord. Same thing in Palo, but we have an Fumbe outside of us constantly guarding our back. So let's just say somebody somebody sends a spirit your way or any form of kala, kam, buka, kindoki. That is the Bantu word for witchcraft. So let's just say they do that. So you're gonna use the Dilanga, the Nganga, the Mfumbe. That's another secret inside the Nganga, and I guarantee you have no more problems. Any questions? Now I'll show some essential things that you need in Ngangas, especially Sarabanda. Please don't ask me where I get my things from. And it's real heavy, by the way. Among other things, because I get a lot of questions about that from other initiates. Mel, congratulations. That's my father. You can always honor your nganga. First and foremost, stay humble. Um, help those that need your help if you have the knowledge to help them out. Um, don't ever just push somebody away when they really need your help and you have the knowledge to help them out. Um, never stand in front of your ganga naked. Um, never go in there smoking weed or doing anything like that. The rum consumption, the alcohol consumption in that spiritual room should be the impungos. It's not a place for you to start in after hours because it's not you're not honoring your ganga by doing actions like that. Matthew, I'll find the right one for you, and I'll what should I say? I'll give you in a bowl until you're initiated. Well, Ramel, you might say that, but let's just say somebody really needs a cleansing, and you already taught how to at least do sacrifices. Give that person a thorough cleansing with that animal, and then give it to the Nganga. Simple things like that. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be Tata and Ganga in order with the knowledge up there, but until you actually learn things, which Simpungo is good to work to cure somewhat disease or terminal illness, Obayende. But he's also he is the hardest Simpungo to work with. Caution, caution, caution. Waleska. Well, this next step, if you had a reading done and it says that you have to enter Palo first, then you have to knock on Palo's door, get yourself verification from the actual Palo spirits. It sounds like you went through Santeria or some other step, you file whatever. So you go knock on Palo's door, and they can take it from there because I don't care what somebody else said. You got to hear from the horse's mouth because they can't dictate what goes on in Palo because Palo's Palo. So when you find out that you do have a path, it's necessary to find out if it's an immediate initiation is needed or it could be done gradually. Um, and of course, you have to find the right munanso because you don't want to end up in a bad situation by not studying the person that are going to be your godparents, and then um, a lot of things are done wrong, and you end up in a very bad situation that's going to cost you a lot of money to fix, and probably it's going to take you 2 3 munasus to find the right person in order to fix those problems. Some so far some Ngangas do have 2 Criombas. So hopefully that helps you out. Well, this guy, just like I said, you go in there. Um, Just talk to the godchildren. Just keep your eyes vigilant and your ears open, and just make sure that it's the right munanso for you. If not, there's always other munansos. No, I am not familiar with voodoo. That's a world that's not it's not mine. And like I said, I respect all these different other religions because they're all different worlds. I don't cross them. Matthew. So yeah. So I can't really break down anything of voodoo to you. You speak to me about Palo, you speak to me about Palo or Santeria, I could talk to you about that. But don't ask me Fa, don't ask me Voodoo or anything else. Candombre. There's a whole world out there. 21 divisions. Well, I think it's Sensei. A whole bunch of spiritual worlds out there. Well, this guy does not matter if you are in Michigan, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, California, New Mexico. The same rules apply. Just do your homework before you commit yourself. How you doing there, Bus? Well, Veronica, you know if it's a good palera, if you see that all the godchildren that have been initiated in that munanso are prospering, there's respect in the munanso beginning from them and going all the way down with the godchildren. Everything was, the love should be vibrant, respect, the unity. Now, if you have godchildren complaining, "Oh, I did this at Bo, I did this cleanse, I did this spiritual work, whatever. He did this for me, and I'm worse off. Man, now he's avoiding me. I'm here sitting in the living room while he's downstairs, refusing to talk to me because he's down there with two more godchildren." Well, those are red flags. Those so far, they do recognize you are Palero, but they won't show themselves fast. On the contrary, they'll be hiding in the person's shadow. Because this is one thing you gotta understand. When you have a spirit be after you, whether you picked it up naturally during the course of your life or somebody sent that to you, they don't attack you physically because they are not material like we are. So they'll attack the other part of you that people don't even recognize, which is your shadow. And that's how all the witchcraft, that's how all everything goes through the shadow. And after a while, if it's been with you for quite some time and it's been growing, its energy level is high because of all the problems it has caused, and it's been feeding off your misery, your pain and misery. Um, it's almost like your own shadow. Occasionally, if you have the sight vision, you will see that shadow break off from your shadow. And then when it recognizes that you're there for the simple fact that you have spirits around you, it runs back into that shadow. Joe, on the rest usually are just the only difference there is Centella, and I believe Cobayende. Cobayende has an extra color to it. It's like a very weird, opaque yellow, almost like mustard, but more darker. Ramel, In order to make Osha, do you have to receive the hand of a ruler? No, you do not. Again, Ocha is Ocha, Ifa is Ifa. Does it compliment you? Yes. That's why I tell people, if you have plans to get crowned Ocha, hold off and getting your mano ruler and get it afterwards, because that's gonna compliment you. Because if you go to a true babalao and you get the mano ruler ceremony, first of all, it starts on a Friday and ends up on a Sunday. Um, and then on Sunday you should have your ita, your life reading. So the secret behind that is before you are reincarnated in this world, you left yourself a secret message, hoping that one day, um, you find yourselves in one of these African-based religions where you're able to cipher the hidden message. But that goes hand in hand with the message you will receive from the Ida and Ocha. So you put both together. Now you can see in between the line, depending which way you read it, forward, backwards, whatever the case may be, you're gonna see there, because you're gonna get your past, present, future. But when you combine these two books here, there's a more clear, more deeper message that you left for yourself. So far, yes, it does. If it's properly constructed, Chiliku will protect you from enemies, of course. All right, Spellbound. The reason that Chola Wenge uses corn husk is because when you're working with certain jobs, and mainly like love work, that is what fortifies that job, the corn husk, the Kangri Masango. It's a sacred leaf. Alexa, if your Tata dies, you need to get re-scratched if you have a Yayi in the same house. No, you do not need to be re-scratched. But if you plan on leaving that Munanso because things just get out of control and you don't feel comfortable, depending on what branch you are and you wanted to enter a different branch, there's a requirement that you get certain things done in order to reflect that energy that you will now belong to, because not everything is compatible. So for instance, if you are Kembisa and you want to come to Brijumba, Congo, well, there's certain things that you must receive from your Numunanso in order for you to be able to be part of that Numunanso and to be able to work with that energy. Thank you, Matthew. Come on, any more questions? Uh, like I said, Kalunga is an impungo, and for the most part, most of the impungos have different paths. So maybe that explains your question, but it's the same impungo. Just like Lucero, um, there's many paths. It's Lucero, but different paths. Let me see this there. I mean, the energy, yes, can visit and uninitiate, but it's not really gonna interact like that. Well, I'm sorry, Spellbound. The only Mother de Agua you could do Luceros, but never in Ganga of her. Yeah, so far, believe it or not, there's you're gonna if you are initiated and you have your spirits like they should be around you, you're gonna see people feel things, whether it makes them uncomfortable or not, but you're gonna see that they feel something. They could be gravitated towards you. That means your spirit likes this person, or they're gonna make that person very uncomfortable. What is Scott? Great question. What is something you wish you would have known before starting your spiritual path in Palo? Truthfully, I wish I would have known um, how split apart the actual Palo community is. This has been going on for ages, even back when I first got initiated. But unlike now with the social media, it's just getting out of control. There's really no unity. There's no love towards one another because every Tata wants to be better than the other. Every Yaya wants to be better than the other, and so forth and so on. Then another thing is it's pricey, the things you need to be done, but it's not quite as pricey as Ocha. Ramel, that is a whole entire world in there. There are many, many, many spirits. First, you have the Mpungo, then you have the Mfumbe, then you have the worker spirits underneath the Mfumbe, and that could be Rico. How ancient is Palo? Anthropologists have concrete evidence that 6,500 years before the birth of Jesus Christ, Palo was already being practiced. But that's just officially. It's old, way older than that. But officially, they can go to any court law and they'll win the case. 6,500 years before the birth of Christ, so that makes us over. That makes us 8,500 years at least on the books. Well, what? Let me see. What was this question? On spellbound. First and foremost, before you're able to construct anything, you have to be Tata and Ganga. You cannot create a Lucero from your Lucero. Anything that has to be birthed from an Nganga. So you have to be Yayanganga, Tatanganga in order for you to birth anything. And this is why a lot of people get in a lot of trouble, especially those that pay for that and receive it. And instead of having a certain pungo in there, all you have is dark entities, and your life is bad. So I just hope that you are Yaya and Ganga if you're over here meddling with those things of creating. Good question. If witchcraft was sent to you before you are scratched, what happens after your initiation? Does it break all brujeria? Between the spiritual mass that you're supposed to have and the actual ceremony and the things that happen in there, there's no chance in hell that any witchcraft remains. There simply is no chance. All right, Spellbound. Now you make things clear. Um, so far, first of all, before you even think about getting Ganga, um, having Ganga takes great discipline. Great discipline. If you are a person that lacks discipline, take my warning and do not get yourself involved in that. You have to have ethics and morals. That's another thing because people think that the Infumbe is their slave, and then sooner or later, the Infumbe sits them in their ass, and I wonder why. So, you do everything's right, of course. Like the energy is much more powerful. The communication comes in more clear. Um, when you're doing certain jobs, you feel that energy, that heat around you, especially in these vessels. It's a whole different level. And if you are meant to be a great gangurero, they will show you humility. They'll try, like I said. If you are rotten at the core, sooner or later they'll take care of that for you. But having a ganga is a whole different experience. Any more questions? I mean, it's open topic, so Rico, Matthew, you got any questions? Jay, Kofi, Jesus. What are my favorite things? All right, let me answer this one first. Is the process of initiation different for women? No, it's not. Fat boy, the cause and effects on doing negative work and karma. This is something that I always tell my godchildren. Be careful about dirtying your karma. This does not give you, just because you have the power to hurt somebody, does not give you a right to do it unless it's in self defense, plain and simple. Because if you hurt somebody on purpose because you can, that's karma. Now, if let's say you come to me, somebody hurt you real bad, and I have to, in order to eliminate these dark spirits, I have to use dark spirits in order to combat that. Now, that's not karma on my behalf. I'm actually doing something good for somebody that's being tormented and almost wiped out by these entities. But if my neighbor looks at me the wrong way or steals my parking and I'm over here, I do my thing and toss some powder over there. That's karma. Adam's family. That's one of the signs of it. not being right. Alexa, the owl, knowledge, and all seeing, the Mayimbe, the Nyoka, and go, so forth and so on. Every animal has a specific strength that when you combine with the spirits, it fortifies the spirits that you're working with. But they all have their own level of knowledge and their specialty. And don't forget the bat, Guembo. Guembo is the bat, and Guembo is people overlook that animal too. Specific specific rituals done with Santeria. Um, Believe it or not, she gets a bad name about all the negativity, but you could. There's a number of great cleansings that you do with Santeria. There is a number of prosperity, monetary gain, especially if you're a business owner that you could do with her. Rico, the Indoki are split between good and bad. Um, but for the most part, these new age paleros, what I call them, all they think about Indoki is the bad aspects of it. Can Centella and Sasi work together? Of course they can. As a matter of fact, if you have an Nganga, let's say in Sasi, and you receive Centella, they must go right next to each other. Salam alaikum, Fernando. Thank you. Same here, Fernando. Yes, the bad's very important, Alexa. Why improve spirits are good with working with each other? They when they're in the mission, they all behave. They all work with each other because they have your welfare in mind. Jovan, there's a whole bunch of books out there, but caution because what you find in these books nowadays are half truths. They're they're here to make money off the sales, but the sales of the books, but also deep down inside, they know they took different oaths, different pacts, and they're not trying to betray their spirits because when they betray their spirits, they betray themselves. So what they do is they do a nice little package to sell to tourists. Plain and simple, because there's a whole bunch of people that are not initiated surfing the web trying to get the information, and that's what they're doing. They look at you guys as tourists. And you know how the locals they construct these cheap ass figurines and stuff. Well, that's what they're doing. No, so far you do not have to use money on those types of work. No, Osain is from another world. Our counterpart is Gulumfinda. Same essence though. But but if they were the same, there wouldn't be two different names though. That boy from 305, does Palo Magic manifest fast to any other black magic? In my opinion, yes. In my opinion, Palo Magic is the fastest magic to manifest. Lawrence, Malekun Sal. Thank you. Estoy hablando. Thank you, Rick. There's a question here. I was scratched out in Kisi back in 2008. I haven't been contacted by my Tata in over 2 years. Is it possible for me to join another Manasa without being scratched again? You, yeah, if only if you were scratched properly. If your first, if any of those, if the Pungos of the new Mananso finds that there's something wrong with those currents in your body, you don't have to take all the necessary initiation steps, but you do have to take one to correct what's going on. Thank you. Okay, gracias. Okay, I love you. So far, no, there are not makutos to make people respect you. You make people respect you. Veronica, I am located in Pennsylvania. Hit me up on my YouTube platform and I'll send you my email. You're welcome, Patrick. Well, Jovan, I'm not gonna promise you. I mean, I am extremely busy. First, I work a full-time job. Second, I have my family, and third, I have my godchildren, and I also work Palo. So I have a lot to juggle. If I could send something for you, I will. But don't expect where every time you email me for me to reply within 5 minutes. It doesn't with me. It doesn't work like that. Matthew, she went upstairs. I'll tell her though. You were told by a Palo priestess during divination that you need to initiate the Palo. Is there a way to prepare myself for that possibility? This is something, Alexa. Yes, yes, it can. It can protect you. A Makuto can protect you from witchcraft. Um, the first thing I'm gonna tell you, salt and honey, is that this religion is not a fad. Please understand this religion is more real than what's actually in your head right now because you haven't really you don't know the concept, the true concept of how real this is. So you gotta tell yourself, are you ready to make a pact with a spirit that I cannot abandon? It's not like a puppy that you buy is cute and fluffy, all wonderful. Then that cute fluffy puppy grows up to be one ugly ass big dog, foaming at the mouth, and you could simply take that to the humane society. You can't do that with this. Um, so that's just caution because once you're in it, you're in it. I mean, you can, if I'm your godfather, you can come and give me all your spiritual stuff and be on your way. Go to the Christian church, and I guarantee you that spirit is gonna mount you like a cowboy running one of those horses in the rodeo. And even the Christians are gonna think you're the devil themselves. So not you're gonna be rejected in every church in your town. And now you have this entity pissed off at you because when you betray that entity in that way, you're betraying yourself because when you get initiated, you become as one with that spirit and vice versa. So, and then people get scared when they get initiated and they start feeling things, seeing things that they were not expecting, and they try to walk away. That's why I have to warn you. This is not fad. This is not just so you can say, I am in Palo Mayombe. If that is the case, you don't belong to be here. You don't belong in this environment. This is a religion that must be respected. Hey, see, you would get your Palo name, your Palo Patipemba, all the questions asked to the Nganga, you get the answers put down, um, things like that. It'll say your name and your Palo name, when you were born, when you were scratched. Same thing when you keep that book, because now other information when you get scratching to Tata or Yaya and Kisimalongo, that new information goes along with that. It's for your records. Things that Lucero doesn't want in his face. All right. A lot of yous have been here and there, from Munanso, from lineage to lineage. So, for example, you have any other type of spirits, let's say voodoo, right? You can't possibly keep those two energies in the same room. Respectfully, every energy needs their space. I have a spiritual room for my Palo stuff. I have a room for my Orisha stuff, and I have my Eguns separate. Well, Ramel, I know one person that happened to. He did actually give up Palo, um, begin talking trash about the religion, about the spirits, about their godparents, blah 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 blah. Because this guy was full of ego to begin with. When things didn't go his right, it's my way or the highway, blah blah blah. When things didn't go his way, he started criticizing everything. Because that's another thing. People think that we're gonna do a job today and in 2 hours later it's gonna manifest. No. So that did actually happen to him. All right, so and honey, so you practice that. You have to practice that away from Palo. You're welcome, Aliska. Thank you, so and honey. So yeah, this is not a fab. This is something that you have to commit to yourself. This is something that you have to spend time with. Attend to the spirits that you're supposed to, whether you're sick. I mean, you're sick, you can take a couple of days off, but let's just say you want to go out to the movies that day, but you have not attended to those spirits in the week. Your choice. Get blessed by the spirits or go see a 2 hour movie. Two separate. Because remember, you have the Nganga, but you have your personal spirit. And that's the one that's going to accompany you like the bodyguard. But also, as long as you do everything correctly, that you're respectful with your godparents, to the Munanso, your godchildren, you are in the up and up as a human being, as a religious person, and that Munanso, that Nganga will always protect you to the end of time. So you are no more. Yeah, Ramel, you cannot keep Ogun and Ochosi right next to your Nganga. That means negative stuff, Lawrence. Now, here's another example. Malongo has different meanings, okay? But any African word can have up to 10 different meanings. April, I have no other choice because I have to work with my spirits on a daily basis. Just earlier, I got done like 2 hours ago, two and a half hours ago, working with my spirits. and the day before, and the day before. Matthew, working with Sarabanda is the same thing as working with Siete Radio. Any ganga that's properly constructed, like the energy is it's strong. It really is. I respect every impungo. Granted, Sarabanda and Siete Radio are the patriarchs of the religion, but all the impungos. I mean, we gotta have bosses. Even in this life, you have people in charge, and so happens they're the top dogs. Does that make Cabo Honda any less or Centella Mamachora? No. All it means they have that title, they have that job, plain and simple. Thank you, Waleska. All right, Vanessa. There's nothing wrong because you're saying that Lucelo is in the cabinet. He is separate. You have nothing else next to it. Eventually, keep on asking all your spares for the blessing. Eventually, you get your own home, and everybody will have their proper place. All my homes, I've been blessed to always have my spiritual room, my Orisha spiritual room. I've always been blessed. Edwin, I don't understand that question. So far, if you're talking about Palo spirits, depends on the level that you're at. Once you get to a certain level, yeah, you could just like hold off and not be there every day. But in the beginning, try to be there every day, but you have to put a cap, like say 3 hours a day, the max. That way it doesn't become an obsession. Because in the meantime, you have your family, you have your friends, you have your personal life, and then everything just and it's not that the spirits are bringing you bad luck, it's you being so obsessed that you're spending 12 hours a day away from everybody neglecting everything. Good question, Mariska. What is it that I love about Palo? I love everything about Palo. Um, the actual religion. Nah, I'm not like Palo. What I control on my own. What is the biggest misconception about Palo? That Palo is extremely dark, and that's so far from the truth. That is the Christians that are controlling Hollywood instilling that about Palo, Voodoo, Santeria. Next will be Fa. Next will be Cambode. Anything that is not Christian, they're demonizing. But there's people in this world that have that power to make every religion outside theirs look demonic. But that is so far from the truth. Palo is not all dark. Palo is just a raw power, a raw force that is guided by you as the religious person. You as a person determine what road that spirit takes, whether it's for good works or bad works. So yeah, I'm trying to avoid that, Matthew. Favorite thing about Palo. Now I love the fact that I'm to the point, I'm Tata and Ganga, where I'm a Tata and Ganga. My wife is Yaya and Ganga. I have got children. I control everything that I do in house. So I love when I'm doing something for someone and I see the results extremely fast compared to years ago when I was still attached to my godfather's monad, so I didn't have that control. And when you're dealing with certain people, different energies, whatnot, like it's everywhere. And it took me a little while to see the difference from that situation to when I went on my own and seeing everything develop the way it should develop. Well, so far, you got to learn its energy. That's why you're gonna be there for 3 hours in front of your spirits. Pretend you need to learn how to manipulate their energy to have that bonding. Start with small works. If it manifests, you write the things that you did down, like, and then you repeat in the future some type of work similar. Do the same exact thing. If it doesn't work, I'm like, that was a fluke. But if it continues to work, you continue. This is how this spirit likes to work. Jovan, Makulo, ancestors are everything. Everything. There's nobody in this world that you won't prosper correctly if you're not venerating your ancestors. Period. Just remember, one day, every single one of us are going to be ancestors. That's why it's um, very important that you teach your loved ones. They don't have to go hard bodying the religion. I'm not saying that because this religion, this path, first of all, in Palo, not everybody's guaranteed to be in Palo. Like Santeria, everybody is accepted because at the end of the day, if none of the Orishas claim your head or what Tata does, he'll take you on. In Palo, if they say no, it's no. So not everybody can be in Palo. But it's always good to teach your loved ones how to attend to a boveda, a spiritual altar, because when we are gonna be someone's anguns in the future, and you wanna get venerated also. Not only does it help you to transcend to where you have to go in order to come and help those that helped you get there. But if nobody's giving you that light, it's gonna take you twice as long to even make it to where you're supposed to make it. So yeah, taking care of the ancestors is so important. No, so far that is not. I mean, you gotta do more than that. Well, Vanessa, I um let's see if it does. If it doesn't, then something was not done correctly. And Vanessa, until you're able to connect with that Lucero, there's no works that are going to be manifested. Rooster back, alaikum salam. Why do spirits sometimes say no to initiating someone? Good question. Honestly, I don't ask why it was a no because they know more than me. It could be that you're a psychopath, a disrespectful person. It could be, or also if you're a great person, but it could be that that particular energy in that munanso is so strong that you won't be able to benefit from it. So they'll tell you you have a path, but not in that munanso, because no matter what, they're looking out for you. So if you benefit from another lineage, another type of energy, that's where you're gonna prosper. That's why they say no. They'll say yes that you have a path, but they'll say no about being initiated in that particular munanso. Well, the difference, what is the difference between Palo and spirituality? Palo, you're dealing with real spirits that have certain tasks. They'll do the certain tasks for you, but it's intertwined because if you are not a spiritual person, you're never gonna get that connection with these spirits that you need to work with. So you're incompatible and you're never gonna manifest. That's why I was just telling Sopar he has to do more bonding. He has to see. This is another thing I tell people, especially when you're engaged. Understand that energy of that guardian spirit of yours. Um, because it'll come to a point where there's gonna be a time when somebody's gonna try and mount you. So if you don't feel that energy that you're used to around you at that moment, you say no because you cannot get mounted against your will. If you get mounted, if you allow it, and you don't recognize the energy, it could be a dark entity that's there for to freeload of everything that's there, and it's just not going to care about your spiritual energy, your life force. It's just going to be there, just sucking you up because it does not care. It's not there to protect you. It's not your protective spirit. So that's why I'm very eminent when it comes to that. Engagos, spend that year to know who you're dealing with. Bond, so you're able to receive messages. So whenever you command a certain work, it manifests it. So far, one too many times have I witnessed my spirits protect and mess up an enemy of mine. Yes. So how you doing, Sharp Shop? Rooster OB has nothing to do with Palo. And that thing how you're talking about, that's Egun. That's not Palo. We have a different, like I spoke about earlier. It's called the Dilanga, something similar, but it has a whole different. In all actuality, that Dilanga is the shield in front of the Nganga. You're welcome, Fernando. My bad, Rooster back. Uh, so yeah, it's very important so far to, if you don't know how to manipulate that energy, you don't feel that energy, you have to get to the point where you don't have to physically speak in order to command your spirit because you already have that connection, that bond. Um, and I'll say this for any of you that been initiated the right way, within hours or days of your initiation, um, you will feel something in your body. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, if you've been initiated, you know what I'm talking about. So from there, you have to ride with that wave, and then you have to distinguish your frequency with its frequency. Over time, you guys become as one. Like when I throw the chamalongo, I already know what's gonna be before it hits. Matondo rooster back. Um, so this is one of the reasons why a lot of people that have been initiated. Well, I do understand. I did understand somewhat before I started making these videos. This is why I started making these videos a short time ago, of the need for the proper information and the proper teaching without actually giving secrets, because I do understand this is a public platform and I can't openly speak about things that I cannot talk about with somebody that's not initiated. It's different with my godchildren. We can talk about anything and everything. Um, so I do understand that a lot of you are in that situation where you were never taught anything, and most of the time when you did learn something, it's not even correct. But for the most part, you are left in the dark. So take my advice. Start to make that connection with Lucero before you start to, because 9 out of 10 times, whatever workings you're doing with that, whatever spirit you're working with, is not going to manifest. You don't have that frequency. You also don't have the knowledge, because it's not just a patipemba. It's a sequence of different things that go along with the main patipemba, and not even talking about the medicine that goes in there too. Well, the rum and cigar is important because you're energizing that particular energy that it's there for you, just like when you feed it, it attracts the spirits. It's just like, well, so far, if you have one made of heavy iron, I've never even heard of that chichiriku made of heavy iron, because how are you going to charge it with the secrets? It's either wood, or you can make it out of cloth that almost looks like a voodoo doll, but it's not. It's not a voodoo doll. Sharp shot. You could go to Mother Nature and take the offerings to the Rishas. Go to where their energy resides. You don't have to have. You don't have to keep anything in a dorm room. You just go straight to that particular energy in nature that you are offering that day, and like I said, do your petition and be humble about it, and no hidden agendas. Just be straightforward and do everything from the heart. Quentin, this is a topic that I talked about. This is a topic that a lot of people argue about. Ocha has nothing to do with Palo. And let's speak logic here. When you get initiated in Ocha, the workings are here. When you get initiated in Palo, the workings are here. So it doesn't even affect where the ceremonies were done. But yes, you can get scratched after Ocha. I don't want to hear any bad comments. I mean, if you don't want to take my word for it, you don't believe in what I'm saying, then you can log off this live and never come on this platform again. Because, like I said, nobody has the absolute truth. Truth is split among many, 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 many people. But Gonzalo, what's going on? I didn't see. Um, so yes, that's the same thing as saying you can't get scratched once you get scratched. That makes no sense. And Ocha is Ocha, Palo is Palo. So it's the same thing. If you already scratched, then you should be able to do Ocha because you already scratched. So let's just say you got You went to Ocha, but then they figured out they skipped an important part in that misa, the spiritual mass, that you had to take care of something powerful. Why? How are they gonna tell you you can't go back? It makes no sense because first of all, two different worlds, two different entities. So I can just tell you, well, since you are already initiated in Palo, you can never leave Palo, you can never go Ocha. But that's not, I do not have time to teach online classes. Wish I did. Maybe in the future when I don't have my full-time job, then I can squeeze that in there. Thank you, Sharp Shot. Bueno. Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me? Jesus, can you hear me? Romel, Pablo, Matthew? Let me mess with this a little bit because lately, StreamYard has, how do I say it? Oh, man. So it's still weird? Mickey Mouse and idiot. That's funny. How about now? Well, remember I just plugged it in. So, all right, Jesus said, I think Juan said, now. Sounds far away. All right, but can you at least understand what I'm saying? So far, there's no limitations for the spirits. Again, what you talk about is going to dirty your karma. Thank you, Matthew. I'll say again for those that haven't missed that part. When you're working Palo, you come to a point where you will realize the actual power that you have inherited over time. But it does not give you the right to unnecessarily hurt somebody else just because you have the power to do so. By doing that, you are dirtying your karma. Sleep paralysis, yes, a lot of times it does have to do, and Doki spirits are notorious for that type of effect on someone's body. So then what you do is, you guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Before I go on explaining this, okay, so Meta, you had that question. The best thing for you right now, until you get, first and foremost, are you initiated or not? But even if you are not initiated, You're gonna have to put cascarilla on the bottom of your feet or cross. Very, very important. I told you everything enters your feet. People think, oh, it enters to here. No, it enters to your feet. So that right there cuts everything, all the negativity. Then you go grab a glass of water. It has to be a glass container. It can't be no plastic cup. And pull a lot of cascarilla in that water, and you put it in the side where you sleep, closest to your head. That helps defend you at nighttime a lot. And then, okay, so are you still in contact with your godparents? Really? Yeah, I'm starting to see that StreamYard does that to me. I got the volume all the way up. So, and then you're gonna have to reach out to them and go to their Nganga and figure out exactly what's going on and find out the solution to your problem. That is not a good problem. Edwin, I have, but it's funny how my first video was on Ultra. I did several other, but people don't want to listen about Ultra stuff. All the requests I get is about Palo Mayombe. So I just stuck to doing Palo Mayombe stuff. Thank you, Killer B. Hey, Gamer Light, you're back. Thank you, Jesus. Like what? But I do have several videos on Ultra, but the masses don't want to hear about that. So that's why I stuck to just doing Palo from now on. Really, Sean, please keep doing Palo stuff. All right. S Shah, how you doing? Okay, Lazaros. Like what? Be more break down that question more specifically. So yeah, I did do several videos, but now it's what the masses want. I guess there's a more need for um, education in the Palo territory. Jovan, we love Palo. So do I. And then it comes down, like I said, you have to make that connection, that connect your energies. If you don't if you don't put your hard work on your behalf, they're not gonna do it for you. In Palo, you get out what you put in. Simple. Vanessa, 100%. There is a problem with that cauldron. Well, Lázaro, general with relationships, because you've done a lot of things and you have not seen anything to life. Here's the secret to life. Um, you might have somebody in particular that you want so bad to be in your life, and you're asking the Apollo spirits, but they recognize that is not the correct person. So, in order not to make your life any more worse than what it is, um, they will refrain from giving you that wish. So when you go about with these relationship, these love works, just leave it simple, leave it open. Send the correct person my way, and you see how it's going to work a lot better than your high school crush is already married, or she's divorced with 3 kids, and she has such a huge um emotional disgruntled life when it came to relationship, that you are going to be the one that are going to pay for the broken plates. Okay. And the spirits recognize this, and they're not going to allow it. Sean Palo died. Same here. Mayimbe is associated. Um, she watched over Mambe. Because of her, the tribesmen found Mambe after he died. And well, not Mambe, in Go. My bad. Long day. When Ngo got sick and he went into the cave to die, Ngo was the protector of the land. And Mambe stood there for days just circling, just warning people, hey, Ngo's in here sick. And she has been venerated ever since. Yes, Matthew. Well, how do I feel about initiates coming to me for knowledge that their godparents should be teaching them? Generally, I do not teach somebody only through these videos that is not my godchild, because you paid for your college tuition when you pay for your initiation. So that's like you went to Yale University, you paid 4 years ahead in full, and you weren't learning anything. So now you go Harvard, knock on the door. Hey, I paid 4 years full scholarship over here. They're not teaching me. Can I come over here for free? Doesn't work that way. Especially when somebody is in somebody else's munanso, that is a huge disrespect. I hold that dear to my heart. If you are in somebody's munanso, you already have a godparent. If you leave that munanso for sure and you want to go to another munanso, you could do that. But while you're under somebody's munanso, respect that munanso, because when I mean munanso, you gotta respect that nganga that gave birth to you. So you're disrespecting that nganga by going behind your godparents' back and try to get information. Um, you can simply sit them down and talk to them like human beings and say, hey, I've been initiated 2 years now. I don't even know how to work with the chamalongos. I don't know how to work with patipembas. I feel that I'm stagnated. What is going on? Do you have any knowledge to pass on? If not, I'll respectfully leave this munazo and I'll look for somebody that would initiate me in that munanso that's going to teach me what I need to learn, because life is too short. Sometimes if this munanso they have too many godchildren, it might seem like they're avoiding you, but you have to take the initiative and call them out on this. Of course, Brandon, that is correct. Pablo, you pay to pay. But it's not about the paying part. It's about, why am I going to neglect my own godchildren of their time that they deserve to give somebody that's not my godchild, that does not even belong in my munanso, to give that person the time of that I'm giving to them that I am neglecting to give to my own godchildren? I mean, it's only logic. I mean, at least I'm a good godfather. That's the way I look at it. Palo sticks you can order on Amazon, Etsy, uh, Viejo La Sala Botanica in Miami. They have a huge selection, different sizes. JMF, my padrino said muerto. Well, that's another thing. Why would a father hurt their child? Because my godchildren are my children, and why would I do that? That you want to talk about dirty in your karma? And this is why these actions of these people eventually that Nganga gets tired, it goes to Nsambi and say, listen, he broke this contract a long time ago. He forfeited this contract and I want out officially. And Nsambi says, you are right. And that's when Nganga goes after these individuals. I know one person that within 6 months dead. Elizabeth, where are you located at? The significance, the meanings is that is a spiritual protection when you rub a foon certain parts of your body. It's there for to protect you. See, Sean knows somebody 5 months later died. But yeah, here comes. We'll have that discussion again. How these New Age paleros say, "Oh, the Nganga is your slave. That spirit in there is your slave. It has to do what you say it has to do." Well, really? And why the heck did I have to go through so many ceremonies, so many pacts with this spirit if I'm its owner? Because in the whole history of humanity, no slave owner made contracts with his slaves. That's not called slave. That's called a Denver servant that gets a percentage of the yearly profits from the fields. So they mistreat their ganga, they mistreat their godchildren, they mistreat their neighbor, anybody and everybody. And it comes to a certain point where that contract's broken and that ganga comes after you. Sorry, I know a lot of people are thinking otherwise, but this is the truth. Ramel, I agree with you on that one. Can you hear me? Yeah, you guys are saying the sound again, audio. Stark. Oh, nice of you to join in. Yeah, for some reason, um, I don't know what's going on lately with StreamYard. Next time, what I'm going to try to do is go straight to YouTube. But if for some reason that transmission drops, everybody will be logged out. StreamYard, they kind of control that, sort of like a backup battery where they're having issues, but you have enough feed in there to continue until they fix it. That's why I continue to use StreamYard. As y'all, um, she will have to transfer to Monanso, like I explained before. I am not gonna take the time and the knowledge, the teaching from my own godchildren to give it to somebody that does not even belong to the Munanso. Thank you, Stark. Any more questions? Come on, there's plenty of views logged in. You gotta have questions. As a Paleo, can we help someone from distance without them knowing? Um, here's the catch to that. Certain individuals reject this faith. So without them accepting the help of the impungos in order to take what's on them away, it's not gonna work. Elizabeth, where are you at? And maybe I can help you out. How to handle the energy coming up my back sometimes. How long ago were you initiated? All right, sharp shot. The reason I am a priest in both in Santeria and Palo is because a long time ago it was determined that from the readings I had from one elder, um, which as a matter of fact, it wasn't a reading, he got mounted, and it was foretold that I will be working Palo intensely. I will be helping a lot of people out. I will be spreading seeds, godchildren, aka godchildren. So it was recommended that I join Ocha in order to do that balance because Palo is extremely hot. Ocha is more cooler. So the yin and yang, you need that balance. And not a kid physically harm your health. Is there anything Palo that you can practice without initiation? Unlike Ultra, where you could receive the warriors, which is called half a seat, medio asiento, but you can still work with those warriors and you can receive other rishas without the initiation, imaguas, olokun, and Palo is so vast that from the minute that you knock on that door, you can only take one step before everything else is secrets. Listen, if I no, I don't know nobody in the Chicago area. That's way up there. Spellbound, okay. 7 weeks ago, you got initiated. Give it time. Let that energy center itself. Well, the tools for the ancestor, you get the banner, you get the staff. I forget that other thing that you can also receive. There's a couple things you can get. Myself, I can't help you out. Ifa is a whole different world. I have the path of Ifa, but I never took the initiate because I won't be able to learn everything I need to learn in one lifetime in Palo. Now I have also Santeria involved. I cannot add another world into my life because then it'll be counterproductive because I'm learning a little bit here, there, and there, and as a whole, it's not going to be productive for me or anybody else. So I really don't know too much about EFI. Uh, you're gonna have to be getting in contact with Babalao. That's his specialty. Well, Elizabeth, you
you get a reading for that and find out if you do. First of all, if you have a path, like I said, not everybody has a path in the Palo. You can start with that. Also, far sometimes when you receive a new entity, especially when it's new construction, when that energy is full force, things like that do happen. But eventually, the energy settles in. Yeah, Brandon, you really gotta watch it there because there's dark spirits that will disguise themselves as something good. Their true intentions are not good. So watch it with that part of talking to the dead. Come on, guys. There's plenty of you still on. If I don't get more questions, we'll call it a day. Yeah, I mean, seriously, you really have to be very on top of things when you start to hear the dead talking to you. Like I said, most of the time, the sound. Okay, how about now? Okay, Laszlo, what can you tell us about experiences you've had with spirits that were rather remarkable? Um, can you tell me if the sound is back before I start talking about this? Can you hear me? JMF, can you hear me? Okay, thank you so far. Thank you, Laszlo. Okay, Laszlo, like the initiation to follow should be a personal thing unless you're doing it with your better half. That's a beautiful thing. When both of you go in there together, that is a beautiful, beautiful connection to one another that you're gonna have for the rest of your life.
So I was scheduled to get initiated, but one of my god brothers in that Munanso at that time he was like 12, and this kid had a lot of tumors in his head. So I actually paid for his initiation to get in. So I actually was born that day alongside my little brother. And after that, I got initiated into Ocha, and man, like kept on hearing this and this. So I went to my godfather, said, listen, here's $1,000. This is gonna cover the animals. And you tell everybody else that Risha said this ceremony needs to be done ASAP and it has to be also, which means free of charge. Um, this kid between the Palo initiation and the Ocha crowning, the next time he went to Hershey Medical Center, Hershey sent him to Jefferson down in Philly. And Jefferson sent him down to Lancaster because they all thought that their machines were busted because it showed out that there was no tumors and more incredibly, no scarring from those huge tumors that he had. He's in his 30s now. He has like 3 kids, and that's a beautiful story there that I witnessed. Can you hear me? Well, Matthew, if an engagement is born with too much energy or too little energy, which is also dangerous, the godfather, godmother, whoever initiated you has to do certain things in order to correct that energy. Well, so far, a lot of people have cried during their initiation because it's a very emotional time. It's a beautiful thing, though. Thank you, Stark. Thank you, Jesus. Any more questions? Come on, guys. No. Could it be? In general, I really have not met any Agun that it's there to harm you. Because by it harming you, it's harming itself because you guys have the same blood. I mean, a lot should tell you. It's like you harming your own child. You know, you guys are blood. Well, Matthew, ancient civilizations are inspired by Palo principles. Do you realize that even in modern times, there's there's places like Italy that are the Italians are extremely deep into necromancy, and apparently, by what I've read, it's very, very, very similar to Palo. There's certain things they changed in order to disguise that was taken from us. So even nowadays, a lot of concepts are influenced by Palo. No, in Cuyo is a path so far. Catacombs are in France. The Palo's also there. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to somebody their email today. Even Paleos are in Russia. So this religion, it's and I'm mind you, there ain't many, but just about anywhere you can find at least one. Questions are slowing down here. Well, I'm sure that the reason Mexico is so bloodthirsty is their crime is caused is in their blood. The Aztecs killed the ceremony, and the ceremony. What was up with that? It was their belief that the gods preferred human blood over animal blood in order to keep the land fertile and the economy going because those people they had huge, huge cities. Um, but nowadays Mexico's in there, and man, Palo Mayombe is in Mexico nowadays, and what they're doing to religion is pure atrocities, pure atrocities. What they're doing to the religion down there. While Palo is sort of, yeah, you could say it's a cheat code to life, but it's like a video game. You have to get good at it because if you're not good at that video game, I can give you the cheat code and you don't know how to put it in. You won't be able to. to use it. Uh, are you initiated, Stark? I'm not sure if I asked you that before. No, JMF. I do not believe that future tatas and yayas should come from natural witches. There's no such thing as that. What there is some of us are more spiritual than others, but those that are not spiritual can actually tweak it where they open that horizon and they're in the same level. And I think that's why, especially after the lockdowns around the world, I think this is why a lot of people have gravitated towards these African based religions because they're looking for spirituality. They're not looking for cookie colored religion anymore. It hasn't worked for them, so they're trying to look for something that they're truly feeling. They have these feelings. They had them, never moved on them. But after the lockdowns, that they had all this free time and they started watching videos and reading books, like something clicked inside them. All right, Stark. Like I said, hit me up on the platform and I'll send you my email. Shooting star. If you received the staff but was initiating to something else, what are we dealing with here? Please break it down a little bit more clear. Any questions, Matthew? um, Specifically to Brajumba, everything that is done, anything that is created through Brajumba must have an infumbe. That's particular to Brajumba. The Inyoka is heavily used. That's particular to Brajumba. Yeah, Vanessa, give it time because this is a problem nowadays. The Engayos are so impatient. Um, it's only been 7 weeks. Granted, your godparents should have been on top of this because that's not good that you have so much extra energy where you're feeling that burning sensation in your body. Um, but give it some time. Let that energy, just soak in and release itself the right way. So far, you can communicate with me through my email for that. Well, I also feel that's a good question, J Math. Do you feel that other cultures say, are getting to these African traditions for power and then turn around and use it against ethnic people? I wouldn't say um, other cultures, people in general. I feel that they're getting to this religion for all the wrong reasons. Um, they get to the point where they start seeing a little bit power. They can manipulate a certain energy to do certain things, and then they start using it for the bad. Yeah, that happens more than what you think. How you doing, Uncle Leroy? Bombay, he sacrificed himself in order to bring that balance once they lost and go. That is why we honor him. When Hula Yomambe is like you're talking about God. I did a video on Ngo. It's a brief video. I spoke shortly about him, but he sacrificed himself for the sake of the religion. Oh, Veronica, those are red flags. Yeah, Uncle Leroy. Yeah, you could just go back to the video. And I explained it a little bit deeper in there. No, you only use the patipembas when you're working. This has nothing to do with the working so far. Just to connect with him. All right, Uncle Leroy, you do that. It's a nice brief video. Yeah, so far, yeah, you just gonna sit there and close your eyes and need to clear your mind and see what comes in there. Feel the energy around you. Place your hands over him. Try to extract that energy, feel that energy, and get to know that energy. Then learn how to manipulate that energy. Matthew, you have the head, the body, the feet, the arms, direction, it's but the pembas are complicated. But believe it or not, even the candles. The candle has a head, the body, the feet. Yeah, you can actually charge candles for certain types of work, whether good or bad, because the candle can be used to save somebody or to kill somebody. Same thing as the egg. The egg can be used to save somebody or kill them. Um, Eastern Cuba is following Voodoo, at least to an extent. I wouldn't know, my man. But, nowadays, sorry about that. Nowadays, from what I hear, the religions down there went like this. Since everything is turned upside down for them, you don't have the regime no more giving you a monthly check. So for that, if you don't have money, you can't live. Sorry. So down there, if you don't have money nowadays, you cannot live the whole life. I'm not saying they live in luxury, but somebody needs your free housing. You don't pay for your water, you don't pay for electricity, you don't pay for education because you can become a doctor because the government was paying your education. Granted, a doctor probably made 70 American dollars a month, but everything was given to you, in your hands. Um, Whenever they had medicine, you need to go to the doctor. It was free, so you no longer have that luxury. So now anybody goes in there religion wise, you're not gonna get the authentic initiations, and you are gonna be raped in price. Well, you're not gonna see Haitian influence in Brajumba, Uncle Leroy. Um, so yeah, so answer that question nowadays. That's in the air. It could be that they're mixing voodoo. Like I said, it should attract more tourists. More. When I say tourists, I'm talking about the people that come from other countries to get initiated there, because they're getting treated like tourists. So in order to give a little bit of anything that everybody's interested, they're probably offering, and they're probably mixing voodoo with palo. It wouldn't surprise me. So that's one of the main problems. We're having this cross palo. Palo is palo. I'll say again. I'll remind you guys again. Palo is palo. Voodoo is voodoo. Ifa, Santeria is Santeria. None of these energies should be mixed. Lancelot probably yes. Um, Whenever you're dealing with any types of spirits, you cannot have your mind polluted. Well, shooting star, then you're gonna have to leave Atlanta if all the traditions are being cross contaminated with one another. Yes, they were, Uncle Leroy. Waleska, of course, they would do everything in their power. If you're gonna get initiated, and like I said, if you have something that's been stuck to you for so long, it's gonna manipulate certain events in your life to keep you from getting, for you getting rid of that spirit. All right, people, it's been fun, but I have to go upstairs. I'll try to do another live as soon as possible. Thank you guys for showing your support and your love. And I love doing these lives. I love interacting with you guys. So stay humble, be kind to one another, and may Sam be bless you and yours. Assalamu alaikum.